The curious case of footballing success, Uruguay. When you think about the superpowers in international football, quite a few names pop up in your mind. Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Spain, France, and England. But there exists a small country in South America which has a trophy cabinet bigger than some of these mighty superpowers. Uruguay, a country with an approximate population of 3.5 million residents, has continued to defy logic at world stage. To take into the context the population size, that is around the same number of pro footballers registered in Brazil. Uruguay is also a country where cattle outnumber people by 4 to 1. So how come this nation has won 2 FIFA World Cups? That's equal to what Spain and England have won combined. 2 Olympic gold medals and a record 15. Yes, you heard me right. Copa America titles, 6 more than their nearest rival and a footballing giant Brazil. Begin with, there is tradition. Uruguay was the first global footballing superpower. Before hosting and winning the inaugural World Cup in 1930, La Celeste won Olympic gold in 1924 and 1928 at Paris and Amsterdam respectively. At the time, FIFA recognized the Olympics as the World Championship. Following their 1930 success, Uruguay didn't enter the World Cup for another 20 years, although there were no tournaments in 1942 and 1946. When the World Cup returned in 1950, Uruguay played Brazil in the final. Uruguay beats host Brazil 2-1 at the Maracanã in front of 199,000 fans. A result so jarring, it is still remembered by Brazilians at Maracanazo. Uruguayans took pride in a fighting spirit known as La Garra. If their footballing resources were inferior to those of bigger countries, they compensated with tenacity and courage. Over time, La Garra took a dark turn. Uruguay became better known for a physical style that left opponents bruised and La Celeste's perception in tatters. World Cup appearances also fell. Between 1978 and 2006, Uruguay qualified just 3 times and never advanced past the round of 16. The small player pool, it seemed, was taking a large toll. Enter Oscar Tabarez, once the longest-serving manager in the history of international football. A former defender, Tabarez was also at the helm of Uruguayan team, which competed at the 1990 World Cup before bowing out to host Italy in round of 16. Uruguay offered Tabarez a second stint in 2006 after failing to qualify for FIFA World Cup in the same year as they lost out to Australia in the continental qualification playoffs. He implemented El Processo, a philosophy in which all the national teams from youth to senior are connected with the same tactics and beliefs. A broad understanding of the system was critical because, being from a small country, elite players would at some point go abroad to advance their careers. The Montevideo Derby between Nacional and Peñarol is one of the world's fiercest, but inevitably the best talent would end up playing their trade in, among other places, Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. Players embrace individual responsibility, and when they report to national team camp, everyone is on the same page. There are also advantages to being in a small country. Tabarez was able to visit all developmental academies and gain greater insight to rising prospects. No one is lost in the shuffle. He also sought players equipped to fit into his system, which emphasizes physical and mental speed. In his program, the brain is as important as the feet. The result? La Celeste regained its footing, a semi-final appearance at the 2007 Copa America and an unforeseen run to the 2010 World Cup semi-finals led by Diego Forlan, who scored 5 times and won the Golden Ball at the tournament. A year later, La Celeste won Copa America for the record 15th time. Although things have dried up since trophy-wise for the tiny nation, it has continued to produce incredible talents in Luis Suárez, Edinson Cavani, and Diego Godin, to name a few, who became household names globally with their achievements at club level. The production line hasn't stopped. In few years' time, Uruguay could have the best midfield in world football. Lucas Torreira, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Federico Valverde are playing for some of Europe's elite clubs. At the goals of Maxi Gomez and defensive solidity of Atletico Madrid's Jose Maria Jimenez, the future looks incredibly bright for La Celeste. Share your views in the comment section below and tell us when you think Uruguay will win their next trophy. If you liked our content, please like, share and subscribe, and most importantly, keep enjoying the beautiful game.